Hello and welcome to this issue of Sector 2815. I am Paul Cook, and tonight I am stoked because I have the man behind the Link Squad. DJ Linx will join me tonight, right after this. As I said, I'm Paul Cook. Welcome to another edition of Sector 2815. Don't forget, before you do anything else, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you're notified whenever I upload new content. I am so happy tonight because we have the man behind the Link Squad. He is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Mr. DJ Linx joining me
The
tonight.
legend. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for having me. I'm always happy when I'm able to spread my message of Link Squadness. No, seriously, man. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me on the show. I'm always happy to chop it up with someone from the community. Greatly appreciate the opportunity to do that with you, sir.
No, absolutely. And sir, my father is sir, but I appreciate it.
Take it back, you
You-
scoundrel.
yeah. No, it really the pleasure is all mine. I watch the stuff on your channel, and I think to myself, when my YouTube channel grows up, that's what I want to be. You know. Um,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Before we do get started, though, let's just take a look, see who we have in the chat. We have the comic vet, Chris. Let's go. We have Wheelchair Superhero 87. Hey, comic fam. We have What's Up, comic fam. Mark, thanks for joining us. Uh, hey, and I know that guy. It's Mr. and Mrs. Links. Um, and then we have a man that you're very familiar with, the rapping machine himself, actual Dracula.
Yeah, I threw one kiss at Mrs. Links and two at Dracula. So there you go.
um, so again, thank you. I guess really kind of just where I want to start is let's start at the beginning when you were just a baby Links. How did you start collecting?
That's funny, a baby Links. I guess the way I got into collecting, my first love was always action figures. So I think back, I had some of the Secret Wars figures, which they're comic book figures, obviously from the first Secret Wars. And I think the story was made just to move those figures, to sell those figures,
Right.
Similar to how the He-Man cartoon was created to sell the figures and so on and so
Mhm.
forth. So I had like some of those Secret Wars figures that we bought, not even in a toy store, literally in the bodega. In the hood, they would sell everything. So I had those toys that I had no idea where they originated from. I didn't know they were from comic books. So I had like Captain America, Dr. Octopus, with the hologram shield, which I'm in the market for, by the way. Dr. Doom. I had Daredevil. Like I had a bunch of them. Had no idea where they were from. And then my brother one day gave me some comic books. So he gave me I want to say like 8 books. And
Okay.
I was like, oh snap! Like there's Captain America. I have that figure. Now I know that he's from a comic book. And that's where the love really started. It was from those figures, and then I got a few comic books, and then I want to say like in 1991 the Marvel Series 1 cards came out. The Marvel Universe Series
Okay.
1 cards came out.
Yep.
And again in the bodega, which was dope because we would go and we'd go to the register, and boom, it was a box of cards at the register on the counter. And my mother, they were like $1, I think. And my mother would get me, and I was hooked from there. I was like, holy crap! Every time we went, I would pick up a pack of cards. Actually, even before the Marvel cards, because I remember getting them. Because that was the thing, right? Always go to the store and get a pack of cards. Before that,
Right.
it was Garbage Pail Kid cards.
Garbage Pail Kids. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I had a stack of Garbage Pail Kid cards, and then one day they were out and they had the Marvel cards. So I was just like, whatever, I'll take these. And then that's what really got me into it. Like those cards, I had the entire set, right? So it's like 162 or 68 cards. I would literally line them up on the sofa. I would, make the cards fight like an idiot. Like I think back of some of the stuff that I did made absolutely no sense. And that was my love. And then from there, the natural progression was comic books. So I remember it was like the 4th grade when, kids were bringing books to school. I was just like, yo, this is cool. I have a whole bunch of comic books too. They're at home, which was a complete lie. Uh, kids, you have to like one up each other, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so like, yeah, same thing. So then there was it wasn't a bodega, but they had comic books in it. It was like I guess it was a newsstand that sold sandwiches, which is like
okay.
odd. So it was like books and sandwiches, and then I would go whatever change that I could scrounge up. I would beg my grandfather, rest in peace. I would beg him for every time I saw him, give me $1, give me $1. I was annoying
Mhm.
like that. Take that $1, go to the newsstand, pick up a book, and then eventually in the neighborhood they opened up a comic book store, and this is the first comic book store I ever went to in my life that you had to pick out your books from behind bulletproof glass, like
Wow.
legit. It was
Wow.
like that, and then they would put it in, the spinner thing. So
Yep.
they'll give it to you and then put it in the spinner. You put your money and then they spin it. But that was my heaven. I would go there again. I would beg everyone for money, stealing change out the ashtray, whatever it was, and I would. Even at that age, I wasn't allowed to go far, right? So I was probably allowed
Mhm.
to go in a 2-block radius, but I would sneak off and go the 6 or 7 blocks it was.
Mhm.
Sometimes just run top speed, grab my book, and then come back.
Yeah. It's a totally different time. I was the kind of the same way. I remember when I was growing up, I would go to my brother's like little league games and Babe Ruth games because where they sold comic books, it was in a drugstore, and the
Mhm.
drugstore was like 2/10 or 3/10 of a mile away from the field. And my parents would drop us off, and I would be this 7 8 year old kid walking by himself down the road, you know all by myself, obviously, to the drugstore. And it's like, you can't do that nowadays. Obviously, my parents would be in court somewhere you know for having me walk around all by myself nowadays.
No,
But it
and it's
was
funny. Yeah, my thinking was always like, I could get kidnapped 4 blocks away. I could get
right,
kidnapped from in front of the house. It doesn't matter. Like,
absolutely. Absolutely. So I got mine at a drugstore, and the thing was, it was different at the drugstore too, because I mean, now they have on sale dates, and you can tell, exactly what's going to be on sale on what date. Back when I first started collecting comics, everything was listed as it would be on sale the week of
mhm,
something, because they couldn't guarantee when the drugstore was going to actually put them out. You know, so
yeah.
I would be calling the drugstore. They got so mad at me. I would call them like every day. Did you put out your new comics yet? Did you put out your new comics yet?
Wow. No, the same thing. Like, I didn't know when comic books would be released. So before they opened up the comic book shop where I had to go to the newsstand, so I would go legit, Paul, like every day. Whenever I got money, I would literally go. And then I'm like, damn, I have all of these. When are you guys gonna put on the new stuff? I had no idea about release schedules, and it was all Marvel. Like, my brothers, for some reason, even back, they instilled in me, don't get DC, which I have grown to resent them because of that. But it was just like, just get the Marvel. Do not get
Mhm.
DC, get Marvel. Even when I got Spawn 1, it was just like, what are you doing? Like, how dare you buy that book? And I was like, but I want it.
Yeah, yeah. Got a couple more people in the chat. John, hello, John. Blue Hellion Comics, hello. Simple Simon, good to see you too. Thank you everybody for joining us. So it was all Marvel comics. You said. Do you remember the first comic? Can you remember the first one that left an indelible impression on you that you remember reading?
The Amazing Spider-Man 347. So I don't know if that was the
Okay.
first book that I picked up with my own money, but Amazing Spider-Man 347, gorgeous. I don't think it's an Eric Larson cover, I believe. I'm not
Mhm, mhm.
100% sure. Venom holding Spider-Man skull. Like, that book stood with me. I
Oh
think
yeah.
that was one of the first stories that I read that was super violent. That was one of the earlier ones, and I was just like blown away by it. Venom stuff, Infinity Gauntlet. So that's my favorite run of comics, that 6-issue series. Infinity. I love the idea of because growing up with older brothers, like
Mhm.
I was always watching something violent. So even now, like as an adult, I was telling somebody this the other day, where like I've never seen a full episode of He-Man. I've never seen a full episode of Transformers because I had older brothers and I wasn't allowed to watch cartoons because they were kiddie. So I was always drawn to like violent things because that's
Mhm.
what, I was impressionable. And Infinity Gauntlet, like when it was like this guy Thanos, who's like one of my favorite characters, where he was just like badass and he was a villain and he was like killing everyone. He killed half the universe in the book, and he looked like a boss doing it. He was,
Mhm.
muscular and stuff, and he was just smacking people around. And I was immediately drawn to that. So Infinity Gauntlet 1, that entire series was phenomenal. I got all of those like right off the rack. Definitely that Amazing Spider-Man 347. Some other stuff. I was really into What If back then.
Okay.
Which is hilarious. No, not What If. I'm sorry. There was one. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but it was kind of like a parody. Like it was like funny. It
Okay.
wasn't What If. It was definitely a Marvel comic, but it was like funny stuff. Which was I
Didn't they
don't
do
remember.
something that was just called like Black or something like that? Or
I don't remember, but I just remember like every issue was like a parody of something.
okay,
So I guess that was done like trying to compete with Mad Magazine or something like that. That Grew.
Gru, Gru the Wanderer.
What the? Yeah, Drag. That's what it
Okay.
was. So instead of what
Okay.
if, it was what the. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, and Gru. For some reason, I was drawn to Gru, which was hilarious, and that was one of the ones that I was just like, "This is funny. Not everything needs to be violent. This is funny," and it was different. And it was drawn by It had a similar art style to some of the comics strips in Mad Magazine, with like
Right.
The Doc Martin kind of whatever I think it was called, one of the stories. So Gru had a similar vibe to that.
Right. Brandek was the one that I was thinking of. I kind of combined put the two words together. But you mentioned Infinity Gauntlet. George Perez is my favorite artist, and I was so bummed when he wasn't able to finish that, the interiors on that. He was,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's so sad what's going on with his situation and stuff
yeah,
like
it
that.
really is. Because he just everyone you talk to just says he's like the nicest guy you'd ever want to talk
Mhm.
to, you'd ever meet, and he definitely is someone who has left his mark on the comic industry as a whole. Um, so now how big is your collection overall?
Overall, I think raw books. I'm pushing about PC, and I set aside a couple of boxes for to sell because we make the
Mhm.
hobby fund itself. So I'm looking at give or take like about 1,000 books,
Okay,
maybe less than that, maybe around 900. So that's that, and about in slabs, I'm looking at like 30, 60, like maybe 75 slabs. So about 900 raws and about 75 slabs.
okay. Do you collect anything current? Do you have a pull list right now?
Yeah, yeah. So I pick up about I want to say my sweet spot, and it's funny because we're always talking about, oh man, we need to reduce this pool list. My sweet spot is about like 18 books a week.
Okay,
I read the majority of them. If not, they're stacked up. I have short boxes. It's so weird. So I have my uh catalog stuff that I read, and then I have short boxes. This is my queue. And then once I read that, I take it out the short box, read it, and then put it in the final box in its final place. On the pull list, what are some of my faves right now? It's only one issue in. Issue 2 came out today, but The Fourth Man
okay,
by I want to say it's AWA Upshot is phenomenal. So issue
okay.
2 came out today. First issue was amazing, and it's weird because the characters are all likenesses of movie characters. So there's a character that looks like Paul Giamatti, Jimmy Kahn from The Godfather,
Yeah, yeah,
Curly
yeah,
Hair,
yeah.
Sonny Corleone, Ed Harris, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, it's so weird, but it's a dope ass like mafioso type story. It's like a murder mystery.
Okay.
New Bern, the same thing. Like, I
Yep.
love New Bern, which is like mafioso story. You got to picture Robert De Niro as New Bern, and it's like it hits different.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
Black Panther. Black Panther's up next. I say that because it's on the kitchen table. That's 2 and 3 are my next go to. I'm loving Joker, Department of Truth, Crimson Cage, which is another AWA upshot. I'm really digging indie stuff. Like I just finished Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal, which was
Okay.
written by Garth Ennis, which was it was a blast. Like it was violent, it was wacky. Rise of Dracula. I loved Cult of Dracula, which was weird as hell. I don't know, like getting back into the stuff. I'm kind of not that I have anything against superhero stuff. I still get some superhero titles, but I definitely veer toward like the indie stuff and the self-contained stories, right? So you're gonna get 5 issues of this and it's a wrap.
Right.
That's what I appreciate. So I picked up something today. I forgot what it was called, and it's like one of 3. So you're gonna get a story. There's literally a beginning, middle, and end with this. There's only
Right.
3 issues. Where I don't know. Sometimes I feel ongoing series, like let's say like Amazing Spider-Man or
Mhm.
something like that doesn't have a end in sight, like it could just go on forever. Like I was reading Captain America digitally,
Okay.
and I had to stop. I was just like, it's literally the same issue over and over and over. I was like, Jesus Christ. And then that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of the downfall with those ongoing series, but indies is where it's at for me, definitely.
Right. Right. And from I don't know who I was talking to, but I was talking to someone who's saying that from a spec standpoint too, if you talk about the hobby paying for itself, you almost if you just buy like issue number one of every indie series that comes out,
Mhm.
you probably maybe 50% of the time you'll have something that has at least been optioned. It seems like nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. 50% of the time, you'll hit 40% of the time.
Right.
Makes no
some
sense.
weird
No, no,
some
but yeah,
weird math going on there, but I'm not into the new math.
yeah. When I got into it, I was doing that. So I picked up some random stuff, and then I was just like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. So I got some things that I was just like, why am I buying this? Like I regret buying, and no offense to anybody that reads this, it just wasn't my bag. Like Radiant Black, I was getting the
Hmm.
Radiant Black, and I was just like, oh, this shit is trash. Um, Damn, it was another Homesick Pilots. I was like, why am I getting this? I picked up Home mainly because I wanted to read the story, but I was like, oh, it's a number one. Let me just get it. Yeah, Cult of Dracula is one of those that a lot of people didn't read because it was just like wacky and stuff. But I really enjoyed it. I love the out there stuff. Out. That's another one. AWA Upshot, where it's like it takes place during World War II. So it's a German prison camp. And they have a bunch of Allied soldiers held prisoner. One of
Okay.
them is, I guess, like from the movie Wind Talkers. So he's Native American and he could speak a bunch of languages. So in Out, they have this ancient like vampire
Okay.
held prisoner, and then the Nazis make that guy communicate with the vampire, and he can because he's like, oh wow, what he's saying is sort of like ancient Czech, and I could convince him to do things. That is a phenomenal series. They're 4 issues deep. The fifth one comes out like in 2 weeks.
Nice. Nice. Um, do you have a favorite hero that you've collected over the years, or?
Yeah, my guy has always been the Hulk, Incredible Hulk.
Mhm,
So that stems back to before I even knew comic books existed. I would watch the show with my brothers.
mhm.
Um, yeah, and I just loved like Lou Ferrigno is the Hulk to me. Like I'm
Okay,
sorry,
absolutely.
Buffalo and everything else. So Lou Ferrigno is the Hulk to me. I was able to meet him. It's funny, I have an autographed picture of him like hanging right there. What 2018
Mhm.
at a small con on Long Island, and I fangirled out. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
lie.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh my god, Lou Ferrigno is great to me. Super nice guy. I felt very physically inadequate standing next to him. This guy is in he's up there in age, and he dwarfed me. I was just like, Jesus Christ. I,
No,
I look like hell next to him.
yeah, no, you're right. I mean, Lou Ferrigno is the Hulk to me too, and it was like, um, I just there every time somebody says the Hulk, I hear that music at the end from
Mhm.
the end of every single Hulk episode that they had.
Yeah.
That really haunting music, and it was like I just hear that in my head. Yeah, exactly. It's just so sad, and there's like he's wandering off to his next wherever he's going next, and it was like,
Yeah.
uh,
I hear that music every time I see actual Dracula's name pop up.
you wouldn't like him when he's angry.
Nah,
Um,
big shout out to actual Dracula. I love me some actual Dracula.
exactly. Me too. How about on the villain side? Do you have
Yeah,
um,
Thanos is my guy.
Thanos
Like as
is the
far as
guy?
yeah, Thanos is my guy. It's funny, I guess over the last couple of months since I'm back into collecting, I've been liking more cosmic stuff. So
Okay.
Thanos has always been my guy, and then like I'm digging Terrax the Tamer, I'm digging Blastar, so I'm going digging in the crates looking for some Blastar stuff, Terrax stuff. His first appearance is on my want list. Yeah, I'm like digging a lot of cosmic things, but as far as villains go, like Thanos is my guy.
Okay. Thanos was right.
Thanos was right. I mean, he legit was. If we're talking about the movies, that he had a compelling argument. I mean, it was extreme, but Thanos was right.
So let's move now to your channel. When did you start your channel, and what was the impetus for starting your YouTube channel?
So at the time when COVID hit, I definitely started it because of COVID, right? So right before that, 2019 going 2020, my job, I was a video editor. So surprise, surprise, right? So I was a video editor. I would film like corporate stuff. I
Hmm.
film corporate things, talking head type videos,
Okay.
nothing too fancy, and just film and edit it and things like that. So then COVID hit, and I was basically from the moment that happened where we had to go on lockdown at work, I was just like, okay, I need to fight for my job every single day. So that became super stressful. So then now I'm researching, going from what my company does is like training. So we go into bigger companies and we train their employees on how to write better, on how to communicate better, on how to run meetings better. So we had to take that in-person engagements and transition that to online. So literally, as soon as we went, I was here. I was working day and night trying to figure things out, implementing new systems so that we could, stay afloat as a business. And I was just like, I needed a release. So some of that release beforehand was filming and editing videos, because even though it was my job, I love doing it. So then I was just like, I need to do something. I need to keep my tools sharp. I needed a release. So then I was just like, all right, I'm going to start doing the YouTube stuff. I was watching a lot of YouTube too at the time. I was super stressed. So I would always watch Gem Mint because of the statues. I was living vicariously through him. Like, you don't see it, but on this wall here, there's like, I have 12, statues along this wall. But like living vicariously through Gem Mint. And then I stumbled across Wink Ink's channel and he was opening mystery boxes. And I was like, that's cool. Really, really cool, the mystery box thing. And then what really got me to do it and seeing Wink Ink is that he was opening these boxes and showing these comics, and he didn't know what a lot of them were, and that was perfectly fine. So, sometimes people get caught up in like, oh, if I do this and I don't know what this is, somebody's going to laugh at me. Like, if you go back and watch all my videos, I didn't know anything about comic books. I'm still stuck in like 1993 as far as comic books go. So, and seeing Wink Ink do that, that kind of, put the battery in my back. And I was like, yeah, let me order, some that Spider-Man booth boxes and do it and figure it out. My first couple of videos were terrible. I did it without lighting. The sound was horrible. And I knew that was going to be the case, especially as a professional videographer and filmmaker, but I just needed to get my feet wet. I just needed to do it, or else I never would have done it. So I just needed to, to jump out there and do it. And then from there, I mean, progressively got more polished as far as the video presentation or the channel presentation goes. And with that came a wealth of knowledge. Like, I'm still not a comic book encyclopedia, but I learned a lot in this journey. And I'm super grateful. But definitely it was because of COVID. I didn't want to drive myself nuts. Like, legit, like, you should have seen me when we went on lockdown. Every day I'm literally waking up fighting for my job. Like, I'm gonna lose my job today. I need to do this.
Wow. You mean you definitely have, you can tell, your video skills, because you definitely have one of the highest produced channels out there. It's just top notch. And is for your knowledge, I bet you could probably recite the entire Turok #1 to me probably by now, right?
Courtesy of actual Dracula.
Courtesy of actual Dracula, yeah.
AOK'd me 17 Turoks.
Right. So the mystery boxes, I really I love the way you do the mystery boxes. It's like we're seeing them at the same time as you are. Um, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, you just did one, I think it was maybe yesterday or today, where you got your Thor, you got your Jane Foster's Thor, right? But then you also have had your journey into mystery 777, stories as well, and everything in between. And I think everyone has experienced that who's bought a mystery box, and so you're kind of telling everybody's story when you do those, I think.
Yeah, I think for mystery boxes in general, like for me, it's just weird, right? So it's a more personal story than just getting mystery boxes of comics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a super impulsive buyer. Okay. So if I want something, I literally like go out and buy it. Like if I see a commercial for something, I would literally put on my sneakers, get in the car and go out and buy it. I'm super impulsive that way. And before COVID, I was into clothes and I would spend hundreds a week on clothes. So then with the mystery boxes, it's not just getting the comic books. There's a whole life cycle to a mystery box. Get the mystery box, sell some of the comics, keep some in the PC. Like I enjoy everything about a mystery box from A to Z. And then for me, it's a way for me to go shopping like almost on a budget, right? So I'm trying to get let's I don't know, let's just say a Hulk 181.
Yep.
So instead of just going to the store and buying a Hulk 181, getting it through mystery boxes and selling and doing all that other stuff, because I enjoy that process, that's kind of a way of saving up. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but as somebody that's a super impulsive person, and I'm having fun doing it. So the mystery box is more than just me opening up comics. It's a complete life cycle for me.
Okay.
Like even filming the videos, like everything to me, everything is like a package deal. It's not just about the comics in those mystery boxes. Like I enjoy every aspect from the filming it, editing it, seeing the books, cataloging them I catalog everything on an Excel spreadsheet, looking up the last solds, like things like that. I love every single aspect of that mystery box thing. But it's definitely keeps me from just going in and being like, yeah, let me get that, let me get that, let me get that. So a couple of weeks ago, I did just that. I got a couple of good deals on some books and things like that. So like some of the critique is, why don't you take that money and buy, something that you want? I could do that too. Like it's just you sound like a jerk saying that, but it's like,
no, and I think I know the comics that you're referring to that you just recently got. And I was going to ask you about that later, but you're right, and I think us seeing it at the same time as you, I think really kind of it connects us with you, and I think part of the I was going to ask you, what do you contribute, or what do you give to the success of your channel? What do you attribute that to? And to me, it really is you got to form a connection with the person on the other side, and I think you really do that through your mystery boxes, and through in the mix and things like that. So y- uh, I really enjoy watching the videos on your excuse me, on your channel.
no, thank you. I greatly appreciate that. I think one of the main contributing factors about it is just my authenticity. So
Hmm.
what you see is literally what you get. When I met the guys at C2E2, they were just like, oh shit, like this guy is like, I'm like this in real life. Like literally what you see is what you get. And I think that's important for any like channel.
Yep.
Sometimes people, you want to turn it up a little bit, how they say like great wrestlers are themselves, just dialed up to 11.
Right.
Um, but you don't want to be like a persona per se.
Right.
So what happens is, and that's why I've never named my channel like DJ Linx Comics and Collectibles DJ, because if I want to review grills tomorrow,
Mhm.
like hopefully
Right.
some of my audience will come over and watch me review grills because they're here for me as
Mhm.
opposed to just just random content and stuff like that. Authenticity is key to anything that you do.
Yeah, and like I said, and it comes through. You besides the fact that your production value, you also I think are one of the reasons why I think you're so successful is because you're one of the hardest working people on YouTube as well. You put out something just about every day, if not every other day, practically, and
Mhm.
that's one of the things that I wish I could do. And maybe I could if I applied myself more. But you keep putting out content, and the more you put out, the more people will want to see. And so it's like, you got that whole package working for you, and you got the 2,000 subscribers not too long ago, right?
Yeah, a couple of maybe like 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
but back to that about putting out the content, like consistency is key. So like the schedule is Monday, Tuesday, you get a video, Monday and Tuesday at 10 a.m. Wednesday, that's like for Link Squad stuff, which I've been slacking. And then Thursday, new comic book day video, and then Friday night in the mix. But consistency is key. So like every Monday at 10 o'clock, you can watch a new video of mine.
Hmm.
I think that's super important too, like staying on schedule, even if it's one video a week. Like I started doing one video a week when I first started, and then I just had like packages piling up. But
Hmm.
it is a grind. It is a grind. It is a grind. Like today, I was telling you earlier, all backstage, missed the train coming home. I came home, literally came up, grabbed the car keys, left, went to the LCS, came home, ate dinner, filmed a video that I have to edit after this. Like filmed the video. I chilled for like 15 minutes, and then I was just like, all right, now I got to get ready for this thing. It's definitely a grind, but it's not stressful. It's not
Right.
work. So when I say it's a grind, I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just that
Yep.
if you want to continue, what you call success, or continue to maintain your channel presence, you want to be as consistent as possible.
Mhm. Um, Simple Time wants to know if you're going to do barbecue grills or mouth grills.
Both.
Whatever people will watch, right?
Yeah.
Brother John, what's going on?
What's up?
Um, so, but now you have you just passed 2,000 subscribers. You have a big giveaway coming up. Give you a chance a
Yeah.
little bit to talk about. You got some real big books that you're going to be giving away in your 2,000.
Yeah, and I think that's another reason why the channel's been successful. We give away crazy stuff on the
Mm-hmm.
channel, which I'm all about giving back. Like if you know me in
Mm-hmm.
my real life, like we do a lot of charitable stuff. Like we donate a
Mm-hmm.
lot of money to charities. Specifically, we do a lot of animal things. So we donate to like the ASPCA, which is the animal whatever rescue operation thing. I don't know if that's New York based or that's countrywide. Oh. But yeah, we do a lot of animal stuff. Like we're my wife and I are big animal people.
Mm-hmm.
But for the giveaways, I guess this is my way of being charitable. Yeah, super crazy sick giveaways. Some of the big things, a Hulk 102 CGC graded at a 5.0, which is the premiere issue of the Incredible Hulk series. I think that's the biggest prize. We have a
Mm-hmm.
Spawn 9.8. I think it's a Spawn 300. Austin LeMay original artwork that he donated to the
Mm-hmm.
channel. Dallas Anderson, another phenomenal artist that I met through Instagram, is donating a phenomenal piece. Nick's Kicks and Comics is donating a slab. I think Mark from Legion of Comics is donating a slab. Chris the Comic Vet. Gary B is doing $100 mystery box. JC Comics and Collectibles is doing $100 mystery box. I got some tumblers that we're gonna give away. It's gonna be phenomenal. It's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
insane.
Because that is the Brooklyn way.
Yeah, it's
Right?
it's my way of giving back. What happens is to
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sound like a douche, right? So I get this income from YouTube, from the Link
Mm-hmm.
Squad memberships and all that stuff.
Sure.
And my thought process is anything that I get, I'm just giving right back.
Yep.
So I don't need the money, so I'm just taking it and I'm just giving it right back. So that's the way I want to give back, and that's through giving away some sick prizes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now you also just recently dropped your 2022 goals for your comic collection, for your channel, for your subscribers. Um, I think, if I'm not mistaken, from the comic side anyway, you are like speeding out of the gate. Right? You're already like 40% of the 5 books you already have, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. So it was 5 books. Off the top of my head, I think it was a Hulk 180, a Hulk 182, Avengers 1, Fantastic Four 48, and I think it was Hulk King Size Annual #1. So
correct.
those
Yep.
5 books. So out of those, I was able to get Fantastic Four 48 and Avengers 1. So we got that literally today. It's just hilarious. Um, I was gonna buy Hulk 180, so I'm in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
So I got there in time. I got my pulls. I went through it, made sure everything was there. So then I go to the case in the back, and he wanted, I think it was $700 over fair market. I was like, you bugging? I'm out. Because I was like, dude, how much? Because I had my money. I last solds on it was like 7.5 was like 1,400,
Mm-hmm.
1,500, 14.99. So I was comfortable paying 1,500. And I'm like, hey Mike, what? He was like 21. I was like, yo, deuces, like you wow.
I didn't have, but how did you come up with the name DJ Linx?
So that's a great question. The real story is it goes back to high school, senior year. A group of friends and I convinced them to rap because I wanted to be a rapper back then. So they're like, hey, we can't rap. I was like, I'll write your shit. Don't worry about it. And so our group name was the Cuban Links, even though none
Okay.
of us were Cuban. But it was after Raekwon the Chef's album was my favorite album in at the time, only built for Cuban Links. So I was just like, boom, let's just take the title and let's run with it. So we did that. We did the talent show. Then everybody knew us as the Links. And then we became like a crew aside from the 3 of us. Then a bunch of us, we were the Links. And then fast forward to 2007 2007. So I was just like, yo, I'm gonna become a professional DJ. So I just named myself DJ Linx. I'm sorry. And because I was DJing like parties like that, but then I was just like, I want to do it professionally. I want to do it with contracts. I want to be guaranteed payments because I don't want to do a party and then show up and it's like they promised me $500 and then they're trying to lowball me and give me $350 because I'm there and I'm not going to take my stuff.
Right.
So yeah, so in 2007, I think I did the paperwork. It's trademarked. Yes, DJ Linx. So it started with our little rap crew in 1998.
To grow into the empire that it is today.
I wish. I wish.
But now you have in the Link Squad, you have 60 plus people, I think, by now, right?
I think we're up to 74. So we're up to
Wow.
74 members. Yeah, and I'm super humbled. That's why I always like giving back because if there's that many people, I guess put their trust in me. Obviously, you pay it's $4.99 a month, and you're gonna get a shot at a fantastic prize. So that was always my thinking going into it. We're gonna do one tier, whatever money I get, that's what we're gonna put toward the prize and towards other prizes. So everybody has their own model. For
Sure.
me, I'm just speaking about me. I wouldn't feel right making, let's just say, $300 a month off of community members and then giving you like a $20 book. Like I wouldn't
Right.
personally. I wouldn't feel right. I'm not. That's no shade to anybody like that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no. It goes against the whole giving back thing.
Hmm. And now let's talk about some of those figures back behind you. They're pretty special, right?
Yeah. So these are my hot toys. I have in total, like on display, I think I have. I want to say like maybe 60 something. I don't know, but I
Wow.
have over 100 in total. I have in the next room legit like maybe 30 still in the box because I'm in the next room. I'm redoing it to make it a display room, but I want to get the shelves custom built. Like I don't want to just buy anything like that. And I'm waiting, my one of my friends owns a construction company.
Mhm.
I don't want to beg him, so I'm just waiting till he has a lull. And I'm like, hey, come over for a few beers, and then hit him with the help me with this. But yeah, no, I absolutely love these things. Each one is hand painted. The outfits on them, they're real fabric outfits, so they're not statues. They're like legit figures. They're articulated. They everything is hand stitched, which is it's crazy. Like if you look at a behind the scenes video from like the Hot Toys factory,
Mhm.
there's like a table that's probably like 50 feet, and there's people on both sides, the entire table, just like legit painting. So each one is hand painted by a person. None of it touches like a machine.
Wow. That is just incredible. And I mean, you can just see, I mean, just looking at the Captain America and Iron Man and Thor behind you is like, you can just see the quality in them. Like, yeah, absolutely.
Iron Man's penis. No, I'm just kidding. I'm still a juvenile child at heart.
That's okay. So you were a rapper, and you actually woven that into your channel as well, because once a month, right? I think it's like the last Friday of every month, right? You do
Yeah,
your epic rap battle, right?
the epic rap battle. So I wasn't a rapper when I was in high school. I thought I was a rapper and I
Okay,
wanted to be a
okay,
rapper, but it never went
fair enough.
anywhere. It started before that. Poetry. Like I
Mhm.
used to be like in the poetry club and stuff like that at school, which it's hilarious because when I first went to the first poetry club meeting, like all the dudes from the talent show that wanted to be rappers were in the poetry club, which was hilarious to me. But I've always loved hip hop. I'm from New York. Hip hop is from the minute I got exposed to it, I just loved it. I love the technique and the artistry behind it. So like I never understand. And it's one of those things where I do it to this day too with my daughter's music, where it's just like that's noise. So I never understood when like my dad or like my uncles would be like, yo, turn that shit off. That is noise. And I'm like, it's noise. Like, look how intricate like the
Mhm.
words and the things that they're saying. Like this is better than like a two stanza thing and then a chorus on repeat. Like this actually takes a lot of work. But yeah, so then coming into the like I've always loved hip hop, I've always loved comic books. So then being able to do that on in the mix and then just merging them, which is to me is like I don't know, it's like perfect. It's like pancake
Mhm.
and syrup or pancakes and bacon or whatever the case may be. And then like I've always wanted to do it, and then for it to turn out the way it did, and I give a ton of credit to everybody that's involved So it's not just me. Like it's
Mhm.
truly a group effort. Like actual Dracula, Comic Head 84, Biggie Shaq, Manny, Tomorrow Cinema, Hip Hop's and me, Steve. Like everybody plays such an instrumental part. We're backstage. We're in a hip battle group chat where we just talk about stuff, and we've gotten really close since this epic rap battle thing. And it's hilarious because we're like really close, but then it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna murder you. I hope you're ready. But it's like nobody. That was one of the things. Is just like, do not take anything serious. Do not take anything serious. And it's evolved into like something really big. The last episode where we had Javon Jordan, Illuminati, one of the hottest cover artists in comic books right now, where he does these phenomenal exclusives and variants and things like that, for him to jump on and not only be a judge, like we're still talking backstage where he wants to do more for it. He wants to be back. He wants to do some stuff. He was talking about, I mean, maybe this is TMI, but raising money to give out cash prizes and things like that. So
Oh, nice.
he loved what we were doing, and he just wants to be part of it. I think we definitely hit something special. Like you always want to find your niche or just
Yeah.
do something that's never been done. And comic book battle raps is like it's right up my alley.
Gold. It's YouTube gold. It is.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, it really is. I love I was watching it a little bit earlier today, and I love the fact that on the last one, actual Dracula came in like this big burlap coat and a ski mask, and like literally 2 minutes in, he was like, "I did not think this thing through."
No, and it's hilarious that not only is like everyone's like everyone has their own style, the way they approach lyrics and the way they approach writing, but everyone has their own personality. So it's also like wrestling in a way where that's when you bring the persona. So you have actual Dracula coming like that with the mask, and then the North Star beanie and the coat. Biggie Shaq merging his comic books and wrestling stuff. Comic Head 84 with his vest and his sunglasses. Like everybody comes to put on a show, and I greatly appreciate that. But up and down, it is truly a team effort.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell. You can tell when obviously it's good. It's enthralling to watch, but also you can tell when everyone that's involved too is just having such a good time in what they're doing.
Yeah. And then Flash said he thought he was going to be a rapper. Flash, I'm
Do
sending
we
you the invitation to come on
do
in the
we
mix.
do we have
Battle.
do we have a future contestant?
Yeah, we're always looking for new blood as well, to give everybody a shot. And the only thing we ask is that you take it serious. Like we don't want people coming up just using it, for exposure and then making a mockery of the art form. Like that's the beauty of it. We all respect the comic book community, and we all respect hip hop, the music, the art form, the culture. So that we just ask that people come on and are serious about it.
Sure, absolutely. I want to give you time I asked you to bring some of your banger books too, so I want to give you time to show off some of the stuff that you have here. So let me just move you into the.
Oh shit!
If I can do this right.
What
There
the
you go.
hell? What's up? It's funny. So these are my banger books. I have a short box right here of slabs, and I was looking for my first slab that I got, which was Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man, signed by Todd McFarlane, and it says Todd McFarlane, not T McFarlane.
Good.
And
Okay.
I actually downgraded it to the B box, and that I was just like, that's a big book.
Ooh.
So that means that's crazy. But I'll start off, I guess, my second one. So
Okay.
I remember I was watching on AMC. They were giving a documentary about comic books, and they were up to the Image episode.
Yep.
So it spoke about, Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld, how they were at Marvel. And so I was like watching with my wife, and I was like, oh my God, that was my book right there. Oh my God, that's Spider-Man. That was my Spider-Man. Oh my God. And lo and behold, like she went back and researched it, and she told me that she had to watch it a million times. She was pausing it to try to get the name. So that year she got me this book. Let me just put this down here. So this was one of the gifts for Christmas. And this is X-Men #1 collector's edition. And this one is quadruple signed.
Whoa.
Yeah, so this is really special. This one is quadruple signed by Chris Claremont, Jim Lee, Stan Lee, and Scott Williams. So
Wow.
this book is a dime a dozen, but not quadruple signed. Like
I'm gonna say that's pretty much like a one of one.
Yeah, I don't think it's on. I've never seen a quadruple sign one, and it's fun. I was gonna say, I don't think there's another one on the census. I don't even know how to access the census, so that would be
Mhm.
a lie.
Yeah. PQ.
Uh,
And the thing is, I think the signature, even if you have signature, it doesn't actually tell you on the census. If it just says it's a yellow label, it doesn't say how many signatures are on it. I think.
oh, okay. So then I guess this was my first hit that
Okay.
I bought this as my LCS. So I
Hmm.
paid $85 for this raw copy. On it, he had it at a nine. No, he had it at a 9.2. Yeah, 9.2. So I bought it and I was just like, oh, that's pretty cool. Let me send it into CGC. So I went to this is before I had an account. I went to Midtown Comics in the city. So
Hmm.
we all know Midtown Comics. I work 2 blocks
Yep.
from Midtown Comics, literally
Okay.
there. And I dropped it off and I got it back on 9.8 white pages. So I was happy about that. So I didn't know about newsstands or anything like that. So then when I started hearing about newsstands versus directs, I went back into my box and I was just like, what? So I paid $85 for the She-Hulk #1 newsstand. Came back a CGC 9.8. So
So
that's my
Freaky Louie, thanks for joining us.
Freaky is my
And
guy.
John Comics, I'm here to watch my green. I think he's talking about me there. Actually, his Green Lantern competition.
What's up?
Um,
What else? What else do we have over here? This is one of my. Actually, let's do this. So I was happy about this. So I got this last year. This was one of my books on my list. So
okay.
Ultimate Fallout #4. First appearance of Miles. So I bought it at a 9.6. I sent it in to get reholdered because it cracked during shipping, and CGC emailed me and was just like, "This has to get regraded. If we regrade it, it's not going to come back a 9.6. The only options you have is to get it pressed or we send it back to you." And I thought that was weird, but at least they emailed me. So I was just like, all
Right.
right, send it to get pressed. They expressed it on their end, so I didn't have to pay anything additional to get it. I had to pay to get it pressed, but nothing additional to express it. And it
Okay.
came back a 9.6. The only weird thing is I didn't ask for a custom label,
Okay.
so it was like, whatever. So that's pretty cool. First Miles. What else we have here? I guess too. Last year, one of my books was this Venom 3 First Null. So I think
Okay.
Null, and there was some rumors over the weekend that they're looking to bring in Toby and Andrew again to
Yeah.
team with Spider-Man to take out Null and the symbiotes. I just think Null is a badass character.
Mhm.
King in Black, came in like a lion, went out like a lamb, but
Right.
he's a phenomenal character and one of the best bads that we've had introduced in the last couple of years, because before that it was Thanos,
Right.
Apocalypse, Galactus. So having Null, that was pretty dope. What else do we have? I guess this is one of the ones I bought at the tail end of last year. So
It's one of the grails.
yeah, Giant Size X-Men #1, 4.0. I had bought this at a con. I forgot what Eternal Con. So on Long
Okay.
Island, last I want to say in around September-ish. I only tell seasons because I was like, damn, I think I was wearing a long sleeve shirt. That's how I tell the weather. I didn't go there with the intention of buying it. I saw it at a ridiculous price. Um, the price was way under fair market value. It presents really, really well, and I was just like, let me see it. And legit, Paul, I was like this maybe for like 5 minutes. So as I'm there, I'm just staring at it, and my wife is filming it because I have her film all my stuff. So in watching
Yeah.
the footage, like, the guy is just staring into my eyes as I'm looking at this, like he's like praying that I like pick it up. So that's funny. We had a good laugh about that we met again in Chicago, and we had a laugh
Yeah.
about that.
Definitely one of those. Definitely one of those blue chip books.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so first appearance of Punisher in a
There's another blue
5.0.
chip book. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's crazy. So the other day I'm in the LCS, and this guy that I see every Wednesday, he's there, and he bought a 3.0. So I'm online behind him, and I was like, "Oh man, congratulations, that's a big book." And he was like, "Yeah, blah blah." And I was like, "You mind asking how much you paid for it?" And he was just like 1,300, and I was like, "For 3.0 white pages." I was like, "That's fair,
Mhm.
whatever." Right before COVID, I paid $700 for this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just like, holy shit. I guess, first appearance of Venom. So it's funny, right? So I had told the story on Nick's Kicks and Comics channel. Let me just get the book that I bought it with. So I bought this and this on the same day.
Wow.
So Hulk 181 in a 6.0
Mhm.
and this. So the story with this goes, I had asked this guy. I have a weird sense of humor, and sometimes my wife compares me to Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm. So I'll just say some crazy stuff and thinking that for me, it's hilarious, but for
Mhm.
somebody else, it might make them uncomfortable, which I've learned to kind of deal with that. So I'm at this guy's booth. I'm looking at this guy. So I'm
Mhm.
like, hey, can I see that? So I'm looking at it. So it's here. So then I was just like, no, actually wrong. I was looking at this one. So I'm looking at the 181 and I'm like, okay. So I put it down on the glass, and I was like, "Oh, can I see the Amazing Spider-Man 300?" So he goes to take this away, the 181, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And he was like, "Oh, I was gonna put this back." I was just like, "What? You think I can't afford both?" And it got
Mhm.
super uncomfortable, super uncomfortable. Anyway, long story short, for a 9.6 ASM 300 and a Hulk 181 6.0, I paid 2,600 for both.
Wow. That's just incredible.
Yeah, I was just like, the Hulk alone, he had a price tag on it. I think at the time it was 28.
Mm.
So I basically just threw a number at him. He was like uncomfortable because he thought I was accusing him of being racist, which I wasn't. I was just trying to be funny.
Right.
And I was just like, all right, fuck it. So I was like that. I was like 2,600 for both. He was like, sure. And I got and jetted to the parking lot. I was like, babe, we gotta go. We gotta go.
John is concerned about your health.
If you keep flexing like you might straight muscle. Yeah, it's funny. I started hitting the gym again yesterday, and I am super sore. So there
Hey,
you go.
Pocan
So
Joe.
yeah, Poke Joe, my man. So this is another crown jewel in the collection. My favorite book of all time,
Love that.
Infinity Gauntlet, signed by Mr. George Perez, and I got this about 5 years ago. So
Mhm.
before any of the sad news was announced,
Mhm.
I had this signed by him. I actually bought it signed actually. So for
Yeah.
some reason, I wanted the George Perez. This is when I was like trying to go after yellow labels, and this was the only one I saw at the time. I got it off of eBay. Everything else was Stan Lee, but I was just like, yeah, George Perez. No one has. I've never seen an Infinity Gauntlet George Perez. So
Yeah.
I
That's
yeah,
that's one I definitely want to get slabbed. Is an Infinity Gauntlet. I have George Perez for me was when I started out. It was New Teen Titans and Crisis on Infinite
yeah.
Earths. So I have a whole bunch of those. But I definitely want to get that Infinity Gauntlet #1 slabbed.
Yeah. So then speaking of Infinity Gauntlet and I mentioned Thanos is my guy before.
Oh.
So Iron Man 55, first appearance of
Mhm.
Thanos. Why is it focused on my ugly mug? There you go. Peekaboo. Uh and this one is signed. So signed and sketched by Joe Sinnott, Jim Starlin signature, and a Stan Lee signature. So first appearance of Thanos, Mentor, Drax, Star Fox, Kronos, and Blood Brothers. So the
Yeah.
joke
There's
was, no, sorry,
it's more than just Thanos in that book. Absolutely.
yeah, there are a lot of first appearances. So that was a joke, similar to how when Suicide Squad came out and everybody went to go pick up the first appearance of Starro, and they realized it's the first appearance of Justice League.
Right.
Same thing with Star Fox at the end of Eternals. Everybody rushed to get Star Fox's first appearance, not knowing that it was also the first appearance of Thanos, which is hilarious.
Right.
What else do we have in this pile? So, an Incredible Hulk 102 premiere issue of the
Mhm.
Incredible Hulk series, which
Yep.
we'll be giving away 5.0 on the 2000 subscriber show next Friday. So I got the 5.0 and the 7.5 on the same day.
Mhm.
Um, the Street Side Anthony, who's really big on Instagram. He's a seller local to New York. He sells
Okay.
comic books in front of his house in the Bronx. He's been
Wow.
featured on the news. He's been featured on the Pressable Defects channel, on Barry Gary's channel. Nicest guy you'll ever meet. The first time I met him, no, this was the second time I met him in person. So I grabbed that Hulk 5.0. I got some other things, and he gave me a ridiculous deal, where I was just like, I had enough money to go buy a 7.5. So then I was just like, you know what? Anthony gave me such a good deal on this 5.0. I'm going to send it in to get reholdered, and I'm just going to give it to the community because that's how we pay things forward. So Street Side Anthony was actually the impetus to do that giveaway.
Okay.
So then more Avengers stuff. I guess the 3 big Avengers books, and then we could call it if you want. So Avengers number 8, first appearance of Kang, which I picked up at C2E2 in Chicago. So on the last day, that's when I do at cons. I do all my shopping on the last day. So I picked up this, and I picked up first appearance of Lobo, that Omega Man 3 in a 9.8. So I saw this, and I was just like, I want it. Told the guy, I was like, hey, could you do this? And he was like, no. I was like, okay, I'll take it anyway. So I am a terrible negotiator. That one of my earlier slabs as well. So first Silver Age cap, which is gorgeous. It says off-white pages. Yeah, it says off-white pages, but it's more like I would say these are cream.
Okay.
But still crispy. Yeah, this is definitely one of the.
You don't see a lot of that issue, in that grade.
Yeah, and then this is one of the more recent pickups. So Avengers number 1 in a 6.5.
Same thing. It was like, now that you got from Burke Shop, right? Is that the one?
No, so from Burke Shop.
Okay.
And big shout out to Burke. No, I got this as a gift from my wife on
all right,
my birthday in January from Burke Shop. So what happens is Burke's town was going bankrupt, and they needed someone to bail them out. So I picked up. No, so Burke was like, "Hey, my shop is selling these books. It's a crazy deal." I offered them something, and they accepted, and I was just like, "Holy shit!" So it was this Fantastic Four 48, which was on my 2022 goals list in a 3.5, and it presents beautifully. I don't know why this one is a 3.5 and then this one is a 4.0. So that is like insane. And then 49 in a 4.0. But they present fantastically. These are my first CBCS slabs, which I just sent some books out to CBCS the day before yesterday to get slabs.
That Avengers number 1 in a 6.5. That's another incredible grade. You don't see a lot of high grades on that either.
Yeah, thank you. And then I guess finally, there's some more stuff here, but one of the ones, and this will always be like my favorite cover, one of my favorite books. It's signed by Randy Emberlin, Eric Larson, and Stan Lee. Like, this is like my favorite cover of all time. Yep. This is the book that we were talking about.
Yep.
So ASM, 347, super fire.
Yeah, absolutely. The Hamlet homage, right?
I love you. Yeah, and then Avengers. I actually bought the Avengers homage. So I think it was like Avengers 647 or whatever, like 3 issues after Incredible Hulk turned into Immortal Hulk, where they homaged it, which was absolutely fantastic. And I think that's it. Like here, just the first Black Suit, first Carnage, first Taskmaster, first Rocket, first Defenders, Secret Wars 8, Origin of the Symbiote, first Deadpool, first Mr. Sinister, first Apocalypse, and then first Omega Red.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Just I'm in awe of the books that you just showed. Like, that's just incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, and I just want to give you one more. What do you got coming up on your channel now?
Oh, in the mix this Friday, actual Dracula is going to be on. We're going to chop it up. So I wanted to have Kenny last week because he won the rap battle. This Friday, give actual Dracula an opportunity to pick his brain, like on his writing technique and comic books and things like that. Then next Friday, that's the big giveaway. Like, everybody needs to be there. The majority of the prizes. So let's say, I don't know how many prizes, like let's just say 15 prizes. One of them is going to be from the Road to 2,000 subscribers video that we're going to pull the comments from. All the other prizes are going to be the giveaway tool. Put in a hashtag. So you want to be present in order to win one of the prizes.
Absolutely. It's going to be huge. It's going to be epic.
Huge. Yeah. No, it's going to be epic, man. I you know me, I like giving back. I like doing things real big. I don't know. For some reason, it's like the showman in me. Like it takes me back to when I was, DJing parties and things like that. I don't. It's kind of a similar vibe. So it's a party in a sense.
Right.
It's not just, let's
Absolutely.
get on the channel and talk and give stuff out. It's definitely going to be part. I will be drinking adult beverages that night. You best
I,
believe.
I'm pretty sure I will be as well. So I just want to thank you for coming on. Like I said, I really enjoy the stuff you put out. You have some of the highest produced, consistently interesting, content. You just knock it out of the park every time I watch one of your videos. So
Thank you, sir.
thank you. Like I said, thank you very much for coming on. And if anyone is watching this on the rewind, or anybody that's in the chat, thank you for joining us in the chat. All of DJ Linx's information is in the information below. Um, don't forget, before you go, if you're not subscribed, we would love to have you subscribe to this channel as well. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the notification buttons that you're notified whenever I upload new content. My thanks once again, one final time to DJ for joining me tonight. And as of right now, you are leaving Sector 2815.